All right, it's another, edition on a Northwest podcast. This time around, we will come you, our viewers on Facebook, on, YouTube. Keep, subscribing, keep inviting others to, subscribe to this, Northwest podcast, and also invite others to follow us on our Facebook. Official page is a Northwest, podcast. Today, I am your host, Jacob Limbenga, of course. As Ayla stated that, in the previous, episode, we said we'll be hosting, different personalities, be it entertainment, politics, as well as, business. And on this talk show, I'm privileged to host Philip Tapulakapi Jimpanga. He is the chairperson, for UPND Youth Wing, Solwezi District, Northwestern Province. Welcome, Chair.
Thank you, sir. How are you, viewers? We welcome you to this wonderful episode.
Mutende
mwane tuimwimuna bonse wantereki ngachili mwane mudingai mwane sakila mwane. Thank you.
Hanga twayo. Yeah. So, Chair, tell us your background and how you joined, politics.
Politics has been my desire from childhood. I only had two options, whether to go for priesthood or join politics. Because from the word go, I used to call myself a president, even way back in school. So it's been my self-esteem that it's just been in my heart one day to be a servant to the people. So that is all my background. Then from there, then I got so much interest in politics. At the end of the day, I started following politicians, and most of the politicians, those young politicians who were upcoming by that time, those are the people, those that inspired me to also join politics. For instance, Romeo Kangombe, Christopher Kangombe, they used to inspire me a lot. Whenever I'm watching someone who looks young being in politics, then I said, no, let me pick it up from here, so that we see how we can save the future, because my heart desire it is to contribute to my mother nation one day.
Wonderful. Let's talk of political, leadership skills, Chair.
Yes.
Before we go political, how did you identify yourself to be, a leader, and later on you were elected as a, chairman in, in the youth wing here in Solwezi District?
Definitely, I can just say it is something that is, when you've got self-esteem and self-confidence to say I can do it, definitely you make yourself available to the people. And then at the end of the day, what you tell the people plus the discipline that they see in a youth, you can be privileged to have such a position. So how I was unveiled in politics, I just came as one ordinary person who had a heart to contest on any of the positions, not really as a chairman. My aim was to come and contest as member of parliament, to contest as councillor. But as it is a route. I found myself being a chairman, which is a privilege also to acquire some leadership skills. That's where we are right now.
And how are you working with your colleagues in, in the youth wing?
Definitely, we are, a youth wing is one of the most sensitive political wing that is very complicated to run, but so far so good. When you have been a leader in a youth wing, you will be able to say, I'm now the best leader. Even when you become member of parliament, you become the best member of parliament because you were handling different characters.
Are you managing them well?
Definitely, I am. Because what makes, it's not everyone who can be happy with you, but if you see the majority clapping for you, just know that you're doing it.
The majority.
See,
one says UPND has failed. It has neglected its people, its own people, the grassroots, and failing the people, of Zambia in one of his, episodes. What's your reaction?
You see, there's one thing that we need to understand. This one now stand on the political but based response. CR1 is a Nigerian guy.
Nigerian, but was once a Zambian.
He has never been a Zambian. He stepped in Zambia.
Okay.
So that guy pretends to be a prophet, and yet is just one of these Jims and Jacks. In fact, he's a small guy who shouldn't even talk about politics here in our country.
But we were clapping for him when he was supporting UPND, when he was against the PF.
We are not clapping. We are not clapping. We were observing, because madness leads a person to misbehave in any way. So some people who talk like that, it could be a psychological, psychological mindset that has got a problem. Maybe he has got some problems with his mind. That's why you see he is able to react anyhow. He's able to take anything.
He's getting the updates in the way the dollar's performing, people buying, complaining about milk prices. Somebody was even buying from Solwezi because there it's 350.
Yes.
And he bought at 280. So people are complaining everywhere. So are you seeing the situation being normalized by the ruling party? Because I'm sure it was based on that. Not only complaining about you neglecting your grassroots,
yes,
the committees and other stuff like that, but also failing the people of Zambia in the sense that because the high cost of living is too high.
Yes. You see, when we talk of the high cost of living, we need to understand geopolitics as we are right now. Nigeria, they used to buy a bag of rice at how much? 45. To how much is it today? People are complaining, and their president is dozing. Why is he not talking about their president? But he's busy talking about Zambia. Here where we are doing it. When you want to heal something, a certain situation, first you need to undergo pain. Remember, history has it. President Mwanawasa, he was once called cabbage because there was a certain period where things looked to be tough, and yet he was healing Zambia. So the president doesn't want to find a temporary solution to what is happening right here. He wants to find a permanent solution so that even the next president should find it easy to administer this country. History has it. Mwanawasa found it easy because of what Juba did. So that is where people are failing to understand. So if we compare Siawan's statements with what we are going through, it is just the same as we are confusing ourselves, because that guy has never been he doesn't understand the politics that we have here in Zambia. He doesn't understand the Zambian politics. So his statements has got nothing to do with our leadership. His statements has got nothing to do with Zambian living style.
You mentioned about Mwanawasa regime.
Yes.
And I can recall when he came, the first term was so difficult. Second term, things started normalizing, and the people started buying, a 25 kg bag of millet meal. I remember in the season, maybe 42 kwacha, 45 kwacha,
yes,
highest. And when it's dry, 38, 32. So are you going that route, looking at, because Mwanawasa empowered farmers with at least 8 bags of fertilizer by that time. I remember even 4 young people are getting even 4 bags of fertilizer. But this time around here, it will be scrapped off and people will be getting on a loan. I don't know if it's true.
It's not everyone will be getting loan. There are those that are benefiting from FISIP and those that are benefiting, those that we should get loan. So there are two things here. We shouldn't mix the two. So there is loan and also FISIP.
So FISIP won't be scrapped off?
It won't. Already this year people got. I'm sure if you do a consensus, you find that most of the farmers got this year, those that were benefiting. But what we are saying is there must be a manageable system to make sure that some things must be worked on very well. You find that in the same household, the wife is getting, the husband is getting. At the end of the day, they don't even have a big farm to accommodate that fertilizer they are getting. You find that they just cultivate about 2 limas. The rest of the fertilizer they are selling. So per household, there should be a management. If the husband is getting, the wife shouldn't get.
All right, you're watching a Northwest, podcast. In this episode, we are hosting Northwestern, Solwezi District Youth Chairperson in the ruling party, Mr. Tapula Philip Kapi Jimpanga. Kapi Jimpanga, that sounds, you come from the kingdom.
Yes, definitely.
You're a prince.
Definitely.
Let's talk of CDF, how it's, working in Solwezi District. Complaints are everywhere.
Definitely.
And I'm sure this is where, you know, Siawano is also getting the strength to, you know, attack you, because according to him, with the grassroots, meaning, let's look at now Solwezi District with a CDF. We've seen some graphs like Solwezi District at 58% or 60%. Some that I don't have the, you know, I've got going through the same data. But Solwezi District, CDF, how is it working? Or if it's failing, why are you, you know, putting them on, you know, to task the WDCs, especially that we are now having, you know, elections?
The WDCs, we are putting them to task to identify projects together with their councillors, because the councillor is also part of the our development committee. We've had a challenge in the past. Now, as a party this time around, I think we will take it personal and we will be aggressive on the council performance, because you find that they are contracting and they are giving contractors some contracts to perform duties, let me say, to construct a 1x3 classroom block or any project that is outstanding, that those that are incomplete right now. But you find that at the end of the day, after being given that, our engineers, they are not doing the great job. I don't know, just because they are reluctant. That's why you can see most of the projects in Solwezi District, they are unfinished. There are a few projects that are done because of the delayment in payment. You find that the contractor is given the money to start the project, but when it is on the slab level, no, I need money now to continue, they are not being given in time. And yet they are going against the president's policy. The president,
and why are you tolerating them?
That is why we are saying this time around we are going to be aggressive and harsh on them. We will take things politically now. It seems we, from the political party, if we talk, they are considering us to be cadres. But at the same time, we are the same people who go flat out in the campaign to speak and to preach about what the new Dawn has done. So if we keep quiet, it means that we are not, we are being unfair to ourselves, not to those civil servants, because most of these people, they were thugs that were left by the previous regime. And if we tolerate them to keep on delaying projects, they are enemies of the UPND, and we cannot allow them to continue on that route.
Let's look at, you know, the CDF skills, you know, development. We've seen a lot of youths take on mining skills and failing to get the jobs, you know, in the mines, instead of the mines. Because I remember even last time when we, I was invited to, you know, attend the graduation ceremony at one of the schools here in Solwezi.
Yes.
And the message from the, you know, guest of honor was like, these people do not have, you know, the experience, because, you know, when looking for, you know, workers in the mines, they look for experience, what, and these guys are failing to get the jobs in the mines. Now that Kasansha has announced, you know, the expansion, the creation of 1,800 jobs, 800 being direct and 1,000 indirect. I don't know. In PF, we used to see some, you know, database, like they empower their own. They take them to the mines, teach them, employ them permanently. I don't know, what are you doing to these who are going for mining, you know, skills, you know, the same youths who are now languishing in poverty without any jobs, just in the streets?
Our role, first I will explain the CDF skills. CDF skills, it's in components. Our goal as the New Dawn, it is to empower youths with lifetime skills. What do I mean by lifetime skills? When we empower you with metal fabrication, there is a component in the same skill.
And why are you like not advising?
We are advising
these youths to, you know, at least not concentrate only on operators.
We are advising, but the qualifications are letting them down. So for them, they are finding it easy for the mining skills, like e.g. excavator operator. Why? Because those, when they are applying to such a school, they don't not consider a grade 12 certificate. They do not consider some documents, academically document. Therefore, now we as the UPND, we are also advising our youths not just to focus upon the mining skills. They should also focus on lifetime skills. If someone does mechanics, they're able to open a garage, they are empowered with a grant. There is a component of grant in the same CDF. There is a component of a loan in the same CDF. If they open a garage, they start repairing people's vehicles with the same CDF that has taught them, without the parents paying anything. If someone does metal fabrication, they are able to apply for some grant or loan to start making up some doors, window frames, and other things. If someone has done carpentry, they're able to make a lot of things, including they're able to benefit even from the CDF through the manufacturing of desks.
So what's your message to you, the youth who have applied now this year 2024?
Those that have applied for skills, it is okay. Why? Kansanshi has announced. As Kansanshi has announced, it is now my responsibility as a youth chairman to take it personal, to engage the leadership, also to call the management to sit down with them, so that our youths must be decongested from unemployment. So when we call, we see such opportunities comes because Kansanshi has announced a huge opportunity for young people, 1,800 workers. Those are direct jobs. So if we talk of 1,800 direct jobs, who should benefit? It is the local. So those that have done mining skills, we need to engage our leadership. On this one, we will not fail them. Trust me, we will not fail them. We'll make sure that our youths benefit and they start working.
You're watching, Northwest podcast, and this time around we are hosting Northwest Solwezi District Youth Chairperson Philip Tapulakapi Jimpanga. Let's go on a short break. Be back shortly. All right, welcome back to this interesting, episode on our Northwest podcast on YouTube, Northwest podcast on Facebook as well, our official page, Northwest podcast. Keep inviting others to follow us, and view us on, YouTube. This time around, we are hosting Solwezi District UPND, Chairperson Tapula Philip Kapi Jimpanga. We're remaining with 2 years before, the elections. General elections. If continue ruling like this with high cost of living, are you seeing the president being re-elected as the president?
Whatever that comes out of our Zambians, we are a listening government.
Listening government.
Yes, we are a listening party.
We're working on the challenges.
We are working on the challenges, and I don't think so we can reach 2026 people, whereas people are still complaining.
Let's look at the Solwezi. In Solwezi District, what are some of the scores that we've done as a UPND, as the ruling party?
Some of the scores on the CDF component right now, as we are talking, UPND is doing tremendous job, though on the delayment of some projects completion. But
does it mean the same money, comes in full? Money, and after failing, then the money goes back to recycle. What happens? Because we've seen even the roads. Look at the road network. The complaints are too much.
Okay. On the issue of the road network, the council is working day and night in partnership with Kansanshi. If you see in some wards, I'll give you an example, Council, Kandundu, Solwezi Medical to Kandundu, all those roads have been worked on by the council. Though it's a bituminous standard, not all that good, but it's a temporal solution as the municipality's capacity. That is the work of the UPND. Because in the previous government, nobody has ever thought of helping us to construct township roads. This is for the first time when even the mayor was on radio one of the days, when he mentioned so clear to say, this time around, even the minister and the PS, they have assured us to say, this year, before the end of this year, we are going to see Kimasa Road up to Junction Muzabura being tarred. That's a score. That's a new dawn doing it now. So we need to appreciate them. Then coming to the issue of CDF, we cannot blame all the projects. There are also some projects that are completed. I'll give you a practical example. If you go at Sandangombe, I don't know if you've been there recently, there is a school which is done under CDF, a classroom block which was renovated. It was completely down. It was renovated. It is at the standard, and it is looking as if it is new reconstructed block. Secondly, if you look at the houses there, all the houses at Sandangombe had problems, but the way they are renovated, they are about 6 houses. They are very beautiful compared to the houses in the CBD. Then at the same time, the same Sandangombe, we've got the school or the clinic, the newly built clinic, the first ever clinic at Kanda. I don't know if you've been to Kanda before. There is Kanda, that side after Sandangombe. They never used to be a clinic. They never used to be anything. But today, for the first time, there is Kanda clinic there. Kanda is in between Sandangombe and Mutanda under Karumbira district. So people used to move from Kanda going to Mutanda for medical attention, or from Kanda to Sandangombe for medical attention. Today, because of CDF, it has been brought near their doorstep. So they are able to access medicine just like that. Not just that, they are constructing a staff house just on that clinic. Then from that, I'll also mention schools within town, because if I say, I just continue mentioning the schools that are in the rural, people will think those things are not visible. But for those people that are interested here in town, there is a school which was opened, Kansanshi Primary School. It is a fully furnished school, classroom, 1x3 classroom block, where they have constructed a 1x3 classroom block, and they were given desks in all the 3 classes. Here, Rodwell, it's almost done. Rodwell School. Come to Kandondo School, it's on roofing level. All those projects are under CDF. Come to, so New Dawn is working. There are a lot of things that are happening under New Dawn, despite the derailment from these staffs at the council that we have, that we need to control as a party. But we are doing our level best, and we've got where to point when it comes to tell our people on what we are doing right now.
Come 2026.
Come 2026, we've got what to tell the people.
As we conclude, do you have any political ambitions in the near future to stand as, member of parliament? So very central constituency.
Definitely, you see, we grow through the leadership that is in place right now. If there is a leader, you learn from them, you become the proper version of that leader. I will give you a practical example. History has it in Solwezi. The only 2 members of parliament that I know, according to history, that never passed through mentorship of other members of parliament who were incumbent. There are 2. That is the Honorable Kafuaya. He just came from, he was a banker.
Yeah.
Then he joined politics and he made it. And also Honorable our Treasurer General now in the UPND. Yes, these are the only MPs that didn't pass through mentorship of our leadership of incumbent members of parliament. But I'll be very clear. Honorable Teta Mashimba was groomed by Humphrey Mremba. Before Teta Mashimba became president, he used to move with Humphrey Mremba. And today we are seeing Honorable Stafford Murusa. He used to be under Honorable Teta Mashimba's mentorship. He used to move with him.
And he's also mentoring you.
No, when I'm found with, mentorship is not about sitting you down to tell you what to do and all that. It's about what you see. You begin to be motivated through what that person is doing. Because at the end of the day, as long as that member of parliament is there, I should be also the proper version of that person. One day, by God's grace, be given a chance. I'll contest. Because I'm learning what the MP does. I'm learning the challenges the MP goes through. I'm learning a lot of things.
Okay.
In the political fraternity.
Thank you for having you on the show. Maybe as we conclude, your last words, to especially the youths. You being the youth, leader, as you keep engaging them, your last word to them.
My last word is that they should trust and believe in the leadership. That is the only thing that I'll say. For now, as the Kansanshi has announced that they will employ youths in June, we are not going to sleep. We'll make sure that we become proactive to see our youths in the mine work, more especially the local. As long as I still remain youth chairman here in Solwezi, my youths will be part of the majority of the youths that will.
I'm so glad, because even the question that I gave about mining skills, failing to get the jobs, because there's been a complaint like, no, you are getting jobs from the copper belt or from where, here the reaction was like, skilled people we do not have. Now the CDF came, they're venturing into it, they're learning, but again, they're saying no experience. So hope it will be a thing of the past, the complaints.
Definitely.
Okay.
What do we mean by the thing of the past? Because if we talk of experience, there is no one who was born with experience. Even those guys they are employing from the copper belt, and they were also on job and training. Therefore, our people should be given a chance to have experience. So there is no experience without being given an opportunity. You can only, I can boast of being a youth chairman. I've got political experience because I've been given a political position. I've been given, I'm experiencing how politics goes because I'm in politics. So if I was at home seated, if I was at home sleeping, do you think I was going to have experience in politics? No. So same applies with the mining fraternity and the mining industry here in Northwestern Province. I'll speak for the whole Northwestern. That system of advertising to say you should have 3 years experience, they are defranchising the young people. And the young people, they are the people with the energy to execute duties of productivity to contribute to our economic living in our country. Therefore, the best thing they can do is that thing of experience should be phased out. So let the youths be given an opportunity and let them gain experience. Already if they are experienced people, they'll train the youths to be experienced. At the end of the day, we forge ahead. So that thing will be a thing of the past. And we are also appealing to our leadership. I'll mention that our provincial chairman, who happens to be the government chief, Honorable Stafford Mwanawasa, and also the provincial minister, those that can engage the management when they sit on the table with the general manager to make sure that they tell them and guide them on the issue of the experience. Our youths are given opportunities of skills now, so they cannot have skill or they cannot have experience when they just acquired their skills. So they'll have experience when they are already in the system. So we are robbing for the minds and also the leadership to think about our youths.
Great conclusion from the youth chairperson. Employ the youths and give them the much needed experience. You are watching Northwest Podcast. Of course, comments will come. Check out another episode. I was privileged to host Northwestern Solwezi District, rather youth chairperson.
It's a process.
It's
right? A process. Maybe I'm gonna be chairman in the near future.
Wishing you all the best in your political career.
It's a process because you need to rise. So I may be Northwestern chairman in the near future.
All right, check out another one. Bye bye.
Thank you.